So I'm trying to like travel with my van, which is why I'm building it and putting up these videos, and I need to kind of like address that. But while I'm out and about, I need to have a place to put my oil and whatnot. Oil, coolant, brake fluid, power steering fluid, random just like penetrating oil, maybe some brake cleaner, and whatever else I can think of. Since my spare tire is on my rear ladder, the spare tire carrier is empty up front. So I'm gonna make, it's like a big pan, it's a big aluminum pan, and I'm gonna make a wall that goes around the perimeter. Alright, so here was my idea. The camera's too big to get up in there, but as you can see, there's like a little wall right there, and that was my plan. But back here there's like a super big gap, so that piece is not gonna work. I need to I need to get a piece of cardboard and cut out a template to where I can copy that piece on a piece of metal, aluminum, and get it the right size. And I would like, I don't know how hard it's going to be to take that off to secure it. I might drill holes into little like posts that I'm going to make that's going to hold the wall on. I don't know, I need to figure that out, but this piece isn't going to work, and I need to make a template, which is what you should always do. If you need a piece of sheet metal, just get a piece of cardboard and get a piece of cardboard, basically make a puzzle piece that fits. Then you can trace it out on a piece of metal, cut it out, good. So that's what I didn't do, and I messed up, so lesson learned again. I'm gonna do something now. I made these brackets and I stamped out some aluminum, I almost said stainless, some aluminum pieces that are for my spare tire carrier, and it's gonna go around the outside. And I got two of them because one wasn't long enough. It had to be like 230 centimeters, and this is like 130, so it's a meter off. This is what I had, and it's way thin. Not thin, it's way narrower. So that was my first attempt, but now I know that I need longer, wider pieces. It would be nice if I could take off this thing and put it on like out here, like in the open, and it would be so much easier than under there. Actually, I have to do that because I got to drill holes and put screws and whatnot. I'm gonna take these brackets out and show you what's up. So the brackets are just little pieces of 90 degree. These are stainless steel, and I tapped in 4mm threaded holes on all of them. So, and this angle, that stainless angle is so sweet. It's some super expensive stuff, but I don't have to worry about painting it or anything. That's awesome. So the two-sided tapped like side, I guess I kind of said that weird, that's gonna go up here, and I got two in there because this is so long and I don't want this just super like flimsy. And then I only have one. Actually, I don't even know what this looks like, and I know this is probably too long for this. Oh yeah, actually it's gonna be like this. So it's a little bit long, that overhang, but I'm thinking I'm gonna bend this down right there, and it would like follow this little profile, and it almost like lock it in place so it can't move like back and forth, because that would be, I'm overthinking this way too much, but yeah, I'll just bend this side down and it'll work. So the only thing I gotta do, which I kinda don't like, is drill probably like 4.25 millimeter holes in this, so I can get the screw up through the bottom into that angle, and then it'll hold on the that like wall, that barrier that I'm putting up. And I'm going to put oil and coolant and whatever else I can think of, brake fluid, because that stuff's just nasty and I don't want it on the inside when I'm driving. And I used to put it, I used to put it right there, but obviously my battery's there. And I'm gonna put stuff here, and I just don't want oil in here any longer because it's just nasty. So I guess I'm gonna try to take this thing off and do some work, I guess. So I got it out and I just stood up. There was actually right here in all its glory. First time this thing's been out in like 30 years, which is kind of cool. But so it had that. Where's the other one? Right there. These two little bracket things, and then went through this, and they had a little, just like a pin on it, and it was on, and then I just had to kind of push it off, and it popped right out. So basically, there's 5 of these, and I got they're pretty much even right now, and I had to look up a whole distance calculator because I am not that good at math. But what's good about today is you can find things online and you don't have to be that good at math. So hopefully you can like see this. My number of bolts is 5, obviously, because I have 5 brackets. Bolt circle measure, that's like the diameter of the holes. And this thing, so 41.4 centimeters, which is that distance. So I was able just to locate this one in the center, obviously, because that has the bolt where it mounts, and there's this little mark where they stamped this thing out, and I tried to center that up as best as I could. And then from this circle, since that's 70 from side to side, that's like the diameter, I measured 41.1 to each one, and they're all even now. So that was hard to figure out for me. Now I need to drill a hole. Well, I need to mark these. I'll just get a little pencil and kind of scribble a line, drill the holes. And it doesn't really matter if they're off a little bit, but I like to try to keep things symmetrical and make a clear. I need to make a clearance hole for them threads, a 4mm clearance hole in this. And this is aluminum, so I don't have to worry about the hole rusting. And then I can start bending. Where'd it go? I can start bending them pieces of aluminum. So here's what I'm doing and how I'm laying this out. I drilled this hole, and let me turn this off so it's not confusing. That's centered in that hole. So I'm measuring over 41.1. I'm making a line, as you can see, so it's the same distance in. And I'm measuring with this. I put this into that little hole to where it's located, and then I measure over to where it's exactly 41.1, and then I'm spotting my hole with this. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little divot right there, and that's because I hit it with a hammer, obviously. And then I just scribed another line here and measured, and right there you can see a little spot. And then I'm going to keep going, and then that gives the drill bit something to locate on when I start drilling, and they'll be all evenly spaced and the same distance in, and it'll all be good. So I figured I'd tell you that before I got done, because it took me a long time to figure that out. Like working in a machine shop for a couple years before you really like get to understand like metal and marking holes and spotting holes, and you can get really close without like a mill or some kind of like CNC machine. Just laying holes out by hand. A little lesson. All my holes are drilled, and this is my bracket. Don't make fun of me, I got paint on my nail from earlier. So this radius will match this one. So that hole is lined up, and that sits flat. So this is gonna keep that from like pivoting, from trying to pivot, I guess, like located. And it also just provides a flat, you know, if these were sticking out like that, that's not good. So I'm gonna bend all of these. I just bent them in the vise, and very easy. So I got 4 more to bend, and I'm gonna bend them all up, mount them on, and pick this camera back up. I noticed something while I was bending them. Some of these, oh, well, let's see, that thread is like right where the bend is, and since that spot is thinner and there's less material there, it's gonna bend there. So these threads got a little distorted, if you know what I'm saying. While I was bending, it bent with the shadow of the camera in there. It bent right there. So I'm just gonna have to run a tap through them real quick and make sure they're good. So there's another step added to the process. Got all my brackets on. And they're freaking sweet. So now comes the time where I put the aluminum like side rails on. And I need to precisely locate them with these holes. And there's 5 of them, so I need 10. And I'm just using little socketed cap screws and lock washers with regular washers on it. And that's all you see from the bottom. So yeah, I ended up tapping these out. They worked good, threaded up in there fine. This thing is gonna hold everything I need it to, and it has to be able to get wet, obviously, because this is outside. And this hole, I'm pretty sure, is a drain, because they got little channel that starts here and it comes back, and it can leak out, and up here it can leak out, and then yeah. So this is looking pretty good, actually. All right, guys, been working on this for about an hour. It's looking pretty good. Got this thing bent around, and the brackets, and I thought that this one, oh man, that still might make it. That's very close. I don't think it's gonna make it though. So I'm probably gonna have to cut this right there, similar to that one, right on the edge, and then get the other piece and basically drill them same holes, probably add one up here just to secure it, and wrap it around that, and then put another hole up there with them in there, because there's the thread, there's enough room there to oh crap, I might have just scratched this, but so yeah, it's going good, and I think I might be done. It's getting dark, my friends are calling me, they're trying to go out to eat, and I'm out here all day, so to be continued tomorrow morning.